Hey guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to make this video for you because I feel like this is not really something that's talked about in our industry. And last week I made a video about my 3 book recommendations. So today I thought I would help you guys out if reading is not something that you're super into, but you know you would like to do more of, but you feel like you just don't have the time. I am a really busy mom. I have 2 toddlers, I do YouTube videos, I have an online business where I do online courses for hairstylists. I have a 3rd baby coming on the way. I am very busy and I'm exhausted most of the time. So I understand why you might feel like it's impossible to get books in. But this might be surprising to you, but last year I read at least 20 books, and on top of that, I read through the entire Bible. And I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I'm just trying to show you that it is actually possible to read more books. Maybe you don't read that many. You know, I was kind of on a mission to get myself better at reading books. So that's kind of why that happened. But maybe that's not you. Maybe you just want to enjoy reading more, or you just want to read more books. I just want to show you that it's actually possible, even if you're extremely busy. So today I'm going to share with you my 3 main tips in order to help you read more. And then also make sure to stick to the end because I have 2 bonus tips that you guys are going to really appreciate as well. I want to start off by saying that reading has to be a priority. It has to be something that you're really motivated to do. You have to see the benefits of it. For me, the main benefits of reading more books is to get more information, to learn more. A lot of people read fiction books. That's not really my thing. I'm not super into fiction, although I'm starting to get a little bit more into it now that I've read so much nonfiction. But I really like nonfiction books, and my main motivation for reading is educating myself, and then also for increasing my attention span. I just hate that my attention span has gotten so bad, and primarily I think it's because of my phone and social media. So this is kind of my way of combating my low attention span, and it's helped me become a better learner, and it's helped me be able to self-educate. And as a hairstylist, I think that's the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself is teach yourself and not rely on everybody else, not rely on me, not rely on educators, but to learn how to self-educate because it gives you so much confidence. So, you know, that's why the books that I recommended are more marketing and business books, because I think that's something that hairstylists could really benefit from. So if you haven't watched my recommendation video for 3 books that you could read as a hairstylist that'll really benefit you, I'll post it up here so you can check that out. So I just wanted to reiterate that you have to make reading a priority and just decide that it's gonna be a priority in order for any of these tips to be worth it for you or to even make you excited about reading. So if it's something that you're excited about, I'm gonna share with you exactly what works for me to read more books even when I'm busy. Okay, so number 1 is probably my most important tip, and that is to develop a habit of reading. So what I feel is the best way to develop a new and productive habit is to replace that habit with a habit that is not so productive. So one that comes to mind for me is social media. A lot of the times in the morning, the first thing that I want to do is look at my phone and just see what's going on. And honestly, I still do that sometimes. So don't think I'm perfect, but the first thing that I want to do is pick up my phone, check social media. It's an impulse. I think a lot of people struggle with that same impulse, but reading is a great way to kind of substitute that habit for something more productive. So the first tip I have for you is commit to 10-minute intervals of reading where you're only focused on the book. A lot of times in this day and age, we're very, very distracted by so much information just coming at us from all angles. We have a little information source connected to us at all times. That's our phone, and we're always getting bombarded by new messages and new information. Our attention span, if you look at studies, is going down, 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 down. Reading is a great way to make sure that you can enhance your attention span so that you could be a lifelong learner. So what I recommend is commit yourself to baby steps. Commit yourself to say 20 minutes a day. First 10 minutes when you wake up, that's when your brain is the most alert, the most excited to learn and take in new information. And then also 10 minutes before you go to bed. If you cannot go to bed without scrolling on your phone, it's understandable. There's no judgment here. I do the same thing. So if you can't commit to going to bed without scrolling on your phone, just at least discipline yourself to read for 10 minutes before you try to scroll on your phone. And sometimes what happens is you end up reading more because you've already committed to these 10 minutes, your focus has kind of gone into this book, and sometimes it carries you away and you could read more. Sometimes it doesn't. In the beginning, you're gonna find that it's really hard to stay focused. But I wanna encourage you, if you keep up with it, it will get easier and easier. So the first tip, again, is just to focus on 10 to 15 minute intervals and letting that carry you wherever it may. If it carries you past the 10 to 15 minutes, great. If it doesn't, just stay committed to that 10 to 15 minutes, and I promise you it'll get easier. And one thing that helps me to get those 10 to 15 minute intervals in is whenever I go out somewhere, I always think, okay, I have to bring my purse, I have to bring my wallet, I have to bring my keys, and my phone. So instead of just eliminating your phone, because that's really, really hard to do, and I get that, add book to the list too. So that when you're out and about, if you have downtime, like the other day I was in the drive-thru for Chick-fil-A, and I realized that every single example I give is about food, and specifically fast food. I'm pregnant right now, so you have to give me a break, but I was in the drive-thru for Chick-fil-A. By the way, nobody has better macaroni and cheese than Chick-fil-A, and that's just not debatable. But I was at the drive-thru for Chick-fil-A, and the first thought was, okay, I'm bored, it's taking forever, you know how the lines are there, it was crazy. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just scroll on my phone. And you don't even think about that. It's just a subconscious thing. You're just like, okay, phone, pick up phone, start scrolling. But instead, what you can do is just start reading your book. And I will say that I'm in park and your mind's gonna wanna do something. You're gonna either pick up your phone or you can start reading a book. And make sure to always be paying attention to your surroundings. Don't ever just start taking your attention off of what's in front of you unless you're completely parked, which I was for 15 minutes. So I just started reading my book. And when it was time to move forward, I put it down. Now, sometimes when you're not sure how long of a time you're gonna have to read, it can be very distracting, but it's better than just not reading anything at all. Or say you're in line at the DMV. I hate being at the DMV. It's one of my most dreaded experiences ever. I hate being there. Also, airports suck as well. So I always bring a book whenever I'm flying, whenever I go to the DMV, or whenever I do something that's really unpleasant, and when the people are specifically unpleasant as well. Reading not only helps me pass the time if I'm having to wait so that I don't become an angry person, and also it helps fill my mind with good ideas, and it actually puts me in a better mood when I have to wait a really long time. The second really, really important tip that I have for you is to always follow your interests. I've talked about this before, but when you're in school, when you're in college, high school, even younger than that, we start to lose interest in reading because we're kind of forced to be interested in whatever everybody else is learning, in the class. So we have to kind of force ourselves to be interested in that, and that makes us kind of disdain reading, I feel. So what I always do is try to follow my interests, and honestly, if I pick up a book and after 100 pages, it's not benefiting me at all, and I'm not feeling like I'm really getting something out of this book, I will put it down and read something else, because I don't want to ruin my habit of reading because of disinterest in something. So honestly, it's okay to put down a book and read something else. Now, I just want to caution you against getting a ton of books and just being excited about buying a bunch of new books and then not finishing them simply because you're not allowing your attention span to take hold and allowing yourself to focus and get into a book. So if something is genuinely not interesting to you, definitely just stop reading it and pursue another interest. But don't get into the habit of just pursuing interest after interest after interest and never seeing those ideas all the way through or seeing any books all the way through. And I'll add that if you're someone who struggles to get through a book, and it's not because it's something that you're just generally not interested in, I would say that one of your problems could be that you're actually not reading the forewords and the preface. That's something I used to skip over all of the time. But a foreword is basically like a review for the book you're about to read. Think about when you buy something new. Don't you like to go and look at the reviews and get yourself pumped about this item that you just got again? I like to do that. I know a lot of other people like to do that too, but if you read the foreword of the book, it can re-inspire you and reignite that reason for why you're reading this book in the first place, and it could keep you motivated a little bit longer. Also, the preface is super important as well because it kind of gives you the why behind why the author wrote this book, and oftentimes you could really connect with that reason, and that can inspire you to finish the book as well. So try making sure to look at the foreword and read the preface. And of course, another thing that you can do to stay inspired and stay motivated is to talk to your loved ones, talk to your friends about things that you're learning and things that you're reading. A lot of times that conversation will spark even more interest and more excitement about your reading, and you'll want to go back in and read more. And then my favorite way to stay motivated is to track my progress. I like to keep a journal of a reading list and then also kind of like a progress chart of everything that I've read, and just being able to like check stuff off a list is super motivating, and it gives you like a little bit of endorphins and makes you want to read more. So number 3 is a very obvious answer, and this is something that is advertised daily all the time, and that is to read audiobooks. Now number 3, I want to say proceed with caution, because I think the best way that you can develop a love for reading is by actually reading physical books. But of course, it's becoming very, very popular to use Audible or tools like that in order to read audiobooks. The benefits of reading an audiobook is you can get the information and get it quickly, and you could get the information while you're doing another kind of simple task. I wouldn't do crazy multitasking, but like if you're on a really long drive, not in a city, but you're just on the freeway for a really long time, audiobooks are a great way to get that book reading in. But the thing about audiobooks is if you use Audible, it's extremely expensive. There's actually a monthly fee, and there's also the fees for the actual books too. And you don't even have a physical copy. I just don't really like that method personally. So I actually have a tip for you. What you can do to make this really inexpensive is you can actually find free audiobooks here on YouTube, which I've done a lot of. There's a lot of free audiobooks available for you to read. You have to consider though that it is free, so a lot of times the voice is like a computer voice, and it can be so annoying to listen to. It can be very distracting and very unpleasant. But I will say you do get used to it. And for me, it's worth saving hundreds of dollars like to just consume more books. So I use audiobooks on YouTube if I'm driving or something. No, I'm not watching the screen. There's nothing to watch on the screen, but if you search YouTube for some popular books that have been around for like 10 years or so, you'll probably be able to find some on YouTube for free, at least 1 or 2 of them. So before you go and get an Audible membership, I would actually try to just search some of the books that you're interested in for free. See if you can find them for free on YouTube first. So that's a fun little tip. But one other reason that I do like reading audiobooks is because it really motivates me to do like house chores and stuff. House chores can be super dull and boring, and I can really lack motivation to get them done, especially when I've had like a full day with my kids. I just want to go to sleep and rest, especially being pregnant. Audiobooks like kind of get me excited, get my ideas going in my brain, and doing just like a really simple task while you listen to audiobooks is so great. Like nobody just likes to sit and listen to an audiobook while doing nothing. At least I don't anyway. I have to be doing at least something small. So doing it actually inspires me to get my other house chores done, so that helps me save time as well. But the reason, like in the beginning, I said proceed with caution is because one of the main benefits of just reading a lot of books is you're learning to control your attention span. When all of the messages in the world are trying to grab your attention at all times, our attention span is constantly decreasing. So this really develops good habits and good discipline for expanding your attention span so that you can learn more and actually retain more information. So that's why I say proceed with caution with audiobooks, but definitely use them, while you're doing just minimal tasks and when there's no other option. Why not throw it in there? Okay, so my last tip is a little bit of a bonus tip, and my sister always makes fun of me, but this works. I leave a book in every single bathroom. As a mom of 2 very young children and with a new one coming on the way, I covet my bathroom time. And moms, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a nice little escape from the kids, isn't it? But instead of bringing your phone, you could always just read part of your book. I've gotten so many books read by just keeping them in my bathroom. If it's the only thing that you can possibly do to entertain yourself when you're in the bathroom, you're gonna do it. So that's my secret tip that has worked wonders. So definitely suggest that for you too. Okay, then I have one more bonus tip that I want to give you guys too. It could be expensive to actually read a lot of books. Like I said before, I read at least like 20 a year. So if each book is like $20 to $30, that could add up. That's a lot of money. So some inexpensive ways that you can read more so that cost is not a barrier for you is obviously if you go to the library, you could pretty much have access to any book that you can imagine by going to a library. Other libraries will will send books to your local library. You can do all sorts of things to make sure that you have access to books. They even have audiobooks as well. But you have to have a CD player in your car, which a lot of modern cars don't even really have that anymore. But those are some options. There's also this app. I forget what it's called. Dang it. But if I remember it, I will link it in the comments. There's this app where you can actually have access to audiobooks from your library as well. So that's one inexpensive way that you can get a lot of books read. Personally, for me, I like to keep my own books. So what I actually do is go on Amazon, go on eBay. I could find books for like $3 to $4 most of the time. If it's a book that just came out, you're not going to be able to find it for that inexpensive. But always check Amazon and eBay. You can get books for $3 to $4, and that saves you so much money. The only downside is it's not a brand new book, so you might see like some page folding. Just make sure you look at the condition. You could actually get very good condition. That's usually what they list it as, very good under condition. You could get pretty great books for that really low price range. So if you just spend a little bit of time with it, that can save you a lot of money as well. I want to know which one of these tips you're most excited about trying first. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Lauren, and basically what this channel is for is just to help hairstylists grow in their career, build confidence, and get better at their skills. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check out the links in the description below. I have lots of great resources for you guys. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.